And now, welcome to 7 Questions with Emmy.
Brought to you by Timberline Home, whose showroom in Idaho Falls is waiting for you to explore.
Hey guys, I'm Emmy, and welcome back to 7 Questions with Emmy. My guest today is lucky to be alive after he was reporting in Ukraine when a Russian missile hit the vehicle he was in. Benjamin Hall is a Fox News correspondent and wrote the #1 New York Times bestselling book, Saved. He has a new book coming out on March 18th called Resolute, How We Humans Keep Finding Ways to Beat the Toughest Odds. Benjamin now joins me from the UK. It's so good to see you today.
It's great to see you too, Emmy, and thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for agreeing to do an interview with me. Are you ready to get started with the questions?
Let's go for it, absolutely.
Okay. Why did you decide to write a new book, and what is it about?
Well, I wrote my first book, Saved, just after when I was recovering from the injuries that I had in Ukraine. And so many people reached out to me after I wrote the first book, and they said, we read your first book, and we really want to learn more about how you managed to get through it being so optimistic, how you always kept a smile on your face, how you didn't let the injuries really pull you back. And that's what this second book, Resolute, is about. It's trying to look at how I was able to, I suppose, find real hope when times felt pretty dark. And I go through what happened, I go through my recovery, and I look at a variety of different places that I went to and experiences I had, and just try to look into what it is to be resilient. And hopefully people who read it, if they're going through something difficult as well, they can read it and they can say, you know what, we can get through what we're struggling with. And so that's why I wrote it.
In your book, you talk about beating the toughest odds. How did you get through those first few days after being injured?
Well, first of all, the very moment itself was pretty tough. We were attacked. There was some artillery, some shells were fired at us. And I was almost gone at that moment when right in front of me, I saw my own daughter, my daughter Anna, right in front of me. And she said to me, and it was as if she was right there. She said to me, Daddy, you've got to get out of this car. You've got to get out of this car. And it brought me back. And I managed to get out of the car just before the car itself blew up. And so it was my family right there that gave me the strength to keep going. And every single moment from then on, when I was getting through difficult moments, when things were tricky, when it was painful, I thought of my family and they gave me the strength. And so that's, first of all, I would say, what really managed to get me through the next 7 months when I was recovering in hospital. And just after I had seen my daughter, the next thing I did was I reached out to God as well. And I said, God, please get me home. Somehow, please get me home. And so, when everything else had been taken away, when I was very badly injured, I thought of my family, and then I thought of God. And those two things, I would say, are the things that really got me through the most difficult moments.
That's very inspiring. What was it like when the doctors told you that you no longer had legs?
Well, I knew that pretty quickly because I could see one of them was pretty badly hurt. But you know what? Some people would think that was a difficult moment, but it wasn't. Instead, it was a moment where I realized that A, I was alive. That's what really counted. And secondly, whatever I had to do to keep walking and get home, I would do. So not for a single moment did I think, oh, this is absolutely awful and terrible. Instead, I thought, that's fine. This is how I am today, and I will progress and move forward however I had to. So, I'm very lucky that I'm an optimistic person, but never once did I ever feel sorry or sad about it. Instead, I just felt, let's do it. Bring it on. Whatever challenges there are, I will conquer each and every one of them.
Yeah, you're just super inspiring. Like, I feel like you could totally do a speaking event, a motivational speaking event or something. You probably already have, but
I do a few, yes. And I think it doesn't matter what you go through. For example, my injuries were pretty bad, but the same is true for anyone. If you're going through if you have financial problems, or if you're not happy one day, or whatever those small things are, you use the same methods to get through them. It's realizing that what's on the other side of what is hard is always something good. And if you work really hard, you'll get through absolutely anything. And if some things feel bad, there's always something great out there to look at and inspire you. And it's just learning how to look at the positives that helps you get through life. And like I said, I've always, my whole life, I've been like that. So yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah. What do you remember most about Pierre and Sasha?
Well, first of all, Pierre, I had worked with for many years. Pierre was our cameraman. Sasha was our fixer. That's the lady who will show you around, translate for you whenever you were in a different country. And the two of them were killed that day. Now, Pierre was someone who taught me a lot about journalism. Pierre loved his job. We traveled the world together. And he had a smile on his face the whole time. He loved meeting new people. He loved finding out stories. And every time I think of Pierre, what I think about is I get an extra drive to go out and to do more, to help more people, to keep telling our stories. You know, I went back to Ukraine about a year ago after, when I was walking again. And the reason I did that was really also for Pierre and for Sasha, to show that, the Russians attacked our car. They tried to stop journalism, but they didn't stop it. And I went back to Pierre and Sasha to say, they might not be here, but I am, and I'm going to keep working in their names. Now, Sasha, I remember someone who was so proud of her country, who wanted to do whatever she could to help Ukraine against Russia. And, I think that is important for me to do as well, because they're not here. So now I think I must do what they would have done if they were alive.
That's really sweet. What is your favorite thing about being a dad?
Oh, goodness. What I'm amazed at is how, I've got 4 daughters, and each one of them was obviously brought up in the same household with the same parents, had the same upbringing. But what I absolutely love is how different they all are. That fascinates me, to see them grow and change and be a part of their upbringing, to be a part of that journey for them. I find great. And I want to be the biggest part I can be. And I love watching them just develop and change and learn new things. I'd be spoiled and say I absolutely love getting hugs from them. I absolutely love it when they come and bother me no end. So there's nothing I think that I don't love about it. And I'd have as many kids as I possibly could if I could,
Yeah. You're in the UK and I live in Idaho. Have you ever been here? Well, I'm not in Idaho now, but have you ever been to Idaho and tried our famous potatoes?
I have not yet been to Idaho, but I tell you what, I know, I can see your face. One of my goals is to go to every state in America. And I'm currently doing a TV series called American Exceptionalism. And actually, we're going around and telling stories from all over America, stories of places and communities that have gone through something difficult, but rebuilt themselves and ended up being stronger on the other side. And so at some point, we're going to go to Idaho as well. And I tell you what, if we do, perhaps we can come by, see you. I will definitely eat some of those potatoes. And I'm looking forward to it, because America, I tell you, is so amazing to me, because it is different everywhere you go. It's what I love about America. In some ways, it's all the same. People all share this common pride to be American and how great the country is. But at the same time, it's so different everywhere you go. And you've got to travel around the country and you've got to see all different sides of it. And that's why I love America so much.
Well, if you need a place to stay, then our guest room is always open.
Emmy, thank you.
Yeah, and if you do come, we hope to see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you talk with your kids about the attacks that nearly killed you?
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting discussion that my wife and I had as well. We wanted to, we didn't want for them to be scared. We didn't want them to realize, how bad the injuries were. And it took us a good few months before we got on Zoom and we finally decided we were going to tell them that I had prosthetic legs. And for my wife and I, we weren't, we were worried about how they were going to take it. Was it going to be a big deal? And we built up to it. And then came the day, we thought about it so much, and I got on Zoom with them, FaceTime with them, and I told them, Daddy's got a robot leg. And you know what? Children are so strong and so resilient. They didn't mind at all. Like, my children are so amazing that, so for all the worry about how should we tell them, what's the best way to tell them, we realized that we didn't need to worry about that, because children more than anyone are so resilient. And they always knew that their dad was still here. My mind was still here, that I was still here. And they haven't once worried about the robot legs. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So we weren't sure how to talk to them about it. But when we did, we realized that our worries were misguided. We didn't need to be worried. Yeah. Again, I've been so proud about how my children have handled all the injuries. They're absolute rock stars for it. They're with me all the time. They help me when, I need help. And, it hasn't really hurt them in any way. So I'm proud of them for that.
Yeah. Can you share a piece of advice that might help me and or our viewers?
Well, I suppose the reason I wrote this latest book, Resolute, is to try and find ways through difficult moments. I would say that, one of the things that really helped me most when I was going through tricky moments, and there were some days when I was in hospital and I was thinking, this is really hard, how am I going to get through it, is I would say to myself that if I could just break my goals down, and instead of trying to think of the finish line at the end of where I was going to go when I was getting home, let's just conquer the first hurdle in front of me. Let's just stand up and move a few steps in that way. And I found that by breaking down the challenges I had into small moments, I could conquer every one of those small challenges. So sometimes, rather than being overwhelmed by a big, big challenge, break it down. Just ask yourself what the first step is, or who the first person to speak to is, and do the first little step, and then do the next little step. And, I was amazed that once you break things down like that, you can get through almost anything. But if you cower and you hide and you're afraid of the whole issue, then it looks a lot worse than it really is.
Thank you so much for talking with me. You're just so inspiring. And for the viewers watching, Benjamin has a new book out on March 18th called Resolute: How We Humans Keep Finding Ways to Beat the Toughest Odds. And you should definitely go buy it. Where can they buy it?
Well, I think you can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it in Barnes and Noble. You can buy it, hopefully almost anywhere. And, I guess I'm so grateful that people read the book. And, you write books sometimes and you're not certain how they're going to be received or if people are going to like them. So there's nothing nicer than my first book to people who picked it up to read it and say, you know what, that was inspiring. I guess you can't ask for anything else in life than to help people get through difficult moments. And I guess I'm lucky enough to be doing that now. So yeah, it's a joy for me.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Hey, the pleasure has been all mine, Emmy. Great talking to you. And thank you for what you do as well, by the way. I absolutely love the people you've spoken to, and I've been watching quite a few of them, so it's really good.
Oh, thank you so much for watching them. Thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Tell your daughters hi.
I will do. I don't know if any are out there. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Anna, Iris, Hero? I think they might be doing homework.
Oh, it's fine.
Are they in school today?
Do they have school today?
They did. It was actually World Book Day today. So they had to all dress up in a character from their favorite book. And what were they? Honor was, my eldest was Alice in Wonderland. My middle daughter was Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. My youngest daughter was from a book called The Wishing Chair. And she dressed up as one of the characters from there. But I was really pleased that my godson dressed up as me today and went into school dressed up as me, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. Let me just see it. Hold on 1 second. They'd love to see. Wait 1 minute. Look. I want to say hi to Emmy.
Hi.
This is
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
How old are you?
7.
That's so fun. That's the age I was when I started 7 Questions.
I was telling them about your podcast. This is Honor.
Hi.
Hi, how old are you?
9.
Oh, that's so fun.
Why would you tell them how you started and why you wanted I should interview you, to be honest, why you started this podcast and how it began?
Well, so it wasn't my idea, actually. So for my birthday, do you know where Island Park is? Do you know what Yellowstone is?
Yeah, beautiful.
So they have this river, and we were river rafting down it, and my dad was doing a live stream on Facebook, and someone commented on it, you should interview your dad, Emmy. And so, but I was hopping around being crazy, and then I interviewed my dad and I liked it, so I did my mom and local people from where I live. And my dad was working with Keith Morrison from Dateline on Story at that time, and he said yes to doing an interview with me, and after that it just blew up, I guess.
Absolutely amazing, but that's because you tried to do it. You went out and you did it, and these girls all have things they love too. So maybe we should go do some interviews one day.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
Wow.
Amazing, huh? She's been doing it a few years now. Anyway.
When did you start? Oh, yeah.
When she was 7, when she was your age, you see.
Yeah, and I'm turning 12 this year.
Oh, when's your birthday?
June 8th. And
we need to have your entire family come and visit Idaho.
Yeah, we'd like to. Hey, look, you can see we've got a new baby here. Look.
Just walked in.
Hello.
This is Mom here.
It's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was like, you should be so proud of yourself.
Oh, thank you.
How proactive is that? Like, that's absolutely incredible. What a clever daughter you have.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, your father, what a clever daughter you have.
She is very clever and very questionable. We never thought it would be like this, that it would be so big.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 2 brothers.
Are you the youngest, the oldest?
I'm the oldest. The one is 10 and then the other one is 6.
Amazing. Well, keep doing what you're doing. It's so nice to meet you. And
you're missing one. You said you have 4. Is she hiding out in another room?
He's at a party.
Oh, okay. You've been through a lot over the past few years, so hopefully the tough years are behind you. Do you guys live permanently in London then?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We've been through a lot, but we get to meet so many amazing people through having been through something like this, like your daughter. And I find that the most inspiring thing. I think it's just incredible how many people are interested in Benji's story. We would never have come across all of you incredible people either. So, silver linings.
Thanks so much for watching. Remember, new 7 questions interviews are posted every Thursday. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Love you guys. Bye. 7 Questions with Emmy, brought to you by Timberline Home, whose showroom in Idaho Falls is waiting for you to explore.